welcome to another plan with me. Just give it a second here for people to log in and get all set up. Let me know if you can hear me all right and if it's working. Yeah, we're trying something a little bit different this time. I thought I would see what it's like to have two camera modes. So we're gonna do the overhead view like we normally do, and then obviously you can see my face this time. So that'd be nice to make it a little bit more personal. We can have a little chit chat. How is everyone doing today? And how is everyone doing with the time change from daylight savings? I woke up today completely exhausted because my dog Eddie doesn't realize that it's daylight savings, so he was like up and ready to go super early. We have like a beautiful sunny day, but it is quite cold today. We're still in the minus temperatures, but thought I would wear my lightest blue shirt and try and manifest spring to come because I'm just so over this winter. Just gonna give it a couple minutes and we'll see how it's going. I'm gonna be honest, I don't have much of a plan for today. I do have like a couple of things I need to do and like get caught up on. I don't have any like major theme for today's plan with me, so it's gonna be a little bit more casual, a little bit more laid back, kind of just doing a like bunch of little things to try and get all set up. I do have one thing that I want to kind of start with. Last time, I don't know if any of you were in the plan with me that Megan, who is actually in the chat, she does a planner party, and someone in that, I think it was in that one, someone mentioned that they use like little Velcro stickies on their playlist page to be able to like move things around, which I thought was a brilliant idea. I'm not going to use it for that page, but I do have an idea of how to incorporate some Velcro. So I'm going to set that up today. I did want to show you in that planner party that we did I think it was a couple weeks ago. Megan like got the measurements of these, and so I printed out my two covers because before I had it just like written out, but then she showed what hers looked like with the album covers, and I think it looks so much cooler, so I went ahead and did that on mine, and I'm super happy with how it came out. Anyway, so my idea about the Velcro, I got these little like Velcro dots from Amazon. They came in like a little set. There's a whole bunch of them. But I thought usually on my like fully booked, I'm like, I never want to commit because I'm like, oh, what if one of these prompts like will fit better somewhere else, or I read a new book that fits. Anyway, so I always write it in pencil so that I can like switch it around. But then I was like, if I set it up with little Velcro dots, then I can like move the covers around, and I feel like that'd be really cute. So I'm gonna try it. I don't know if it will work or look good, but we're gonna give it a shot. So got these, and then I used my little printer and printed out all the ones that I currently have penciled in. So I'm gonna cut them and set it all up. So that's what I'm gonna work on initially. But if you guys are working on your planners, I'd love to hear what you're doing. I'm like mostly caught up on my planner. I do need to catch up on my weekly spread for this week. So I have a little bit of like back planning that I can also do if I get through all of this. And then I also thought I could do this potentially for the on the cover reading challenge as well, although I feel like I won't switch those around as much, so maybe I'll just stick those in. This is my first year with the Canon Ivy mini printer, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. Have a bunch of ideas. I think I showed in my planner, like my live one last month, I like went through kind of everything I had done in my planner so far, and I showed you guys that I like at the end of the month on the dot grid, I like print out pictures from that month as like a little kind of scrapbook moment, and I've been really enjoying like just finding like different ways to do it. I also need to update my bookshelf page. I haven't added any more since the last time I did the Plan With Me live, so I only have this far. I have a bunch of books I need to add as well. I might save that and do like an Instagram reel for it. I haven't really done a good one so far. How has everyone's week been so far? I feel like these days it can be a bit of a loaded question. But I hope your weeks have been going well. My week was a little bit up and down, but it ended pretty good, so hasn't been too bad. You probably noticed that some of these are duplicates. Like I have Scythe and Sparrow twice. That's because one of them is for on the cover. Oh, what did you bake, Megan? I'm very curious. I haven't baked anything since my birthday in December. I feel like I'm overdue to bake something. Although yesterday I tried to make ice cream. I saw this recipe on TikTok that was like 3-ingredient ice cream using cottage cheese, which like sounds disgusting, I know. So I thought I would try it. It's just cottage cheese and berries and honey. It wasn't horrible, but I think that there is some room to make it even better. I also didn't have a super great reading week. I think I'm in a bit of a slump. I did read, but I like have barely finished any books. But that is fun that you have a baby shower. Congratulations. Do you know what you're having, or is it going to be a surprise? Things feel heavy right now. We have some sun here. Yeah, things do feel pretty heavy, which is why I was really excited to sit down and have this plan with me, because I said this last time too, but sometimes it's nice to just like disconnect from the stresses of the world and then connect with you guys over something like good, like reading and planning and everything. Heart-shaped raspberry puff pastry tarts. That sounds amazing. I thought the popcorn infused pudding was going to be gross. I'm a kind of textural eater, and the thought of popcorn and pudding, I just can't. I'm sorry. Those two, pudding and, no, I can't even think about it. I will say that this photo paper that comes with the Canon Ivy is not the easiest to cut in a straight line. Really loving the undated planner this year. I was a bit worried to switch over, but I've liked it a lot. Oh, I'm so glad. I used the undated planner last year and loved it. And then this year I wanted to go back to the vertical spread because it had been like a few years since I did that. And I am enjoying the vertical spread a lot, but I do sometimes miss the undated planner. There's certain aspects of it that I really enjoyed, but I'm glad to hear that you're enjoying it. I got the mini Ivy printer and love it. Just need to figure out how to size down the books like you. So for my review section, which I'll show you just quickly, for these ones, I just used the collage that comes with 4, like it breaks it down into 4 sections. That's what I do for those, but and it's okay that it's a little bit oversized because there's nothing like above or below, so it doesn't matter. But with these ones, I wanted to size them down so that it wouldn't cover the font. These ones are going to be smaller than the boxes. Like, they'll fit the height but not the width, but I'm okay with that. So these ones I did on Photoshop. I just like set up the dimensions of the paper, which is 2x3, and then set up boxes that were this size and then sized the cover in that. And yeah. It was the first time I did it. I think it turned out okay. So we're going to try and set these up. Let's see. I'm just trying to decide which side I want to be on the bottom. I guess it doesn't really matter. Oh, that's fun that it's named something different in Europe. That's such a better name. Show of hands, who thinks that this is gonna work? Because I don't have high hopes. I'm gonna test it with one first. My one concern is that I'm worried how it will impact writing on the opposite side. Okay, what do we think? I'm not sure how I feel about it. It is bulky. I don't know. Let me see if I can show you. See how, can you see how much that like sticks off the page? Not sure how I feel about that. Also curious to know if this is going to be easy to take off or not without repping the paper. Oh yeah, it's pretty easy to remove, so I think, yeah, at the end of the year I'd probably like secure it. I'm trying to think if there's like a different method I could do that would allow me to like move them around, because I'm not ready to commit. I wonder what it's gonna be like if I go on the other side. See, I feel like that's gonna bother me when I'm writing on this side of the page. Does anyone know if you've stuck down a picture, like if you've used the Canon Ivy, can you easily peel them up? So I'm wondering if I just stick them down, if I want to move them around, can I just undo it? Or do I just keep going with my pencil method? I just really like I like being able to see the covers. Painter's tape would be a good idea. But I could do washi or something. Maybe we'll try that. I do have a plan for the Velcro at the back of my planner, and that way it wouldn't impact like the pages that I like fill out all the time. So I'm gonna try and use just some like scrap washi and see if that works. That's why I'm glad I have you guys here so we can talk this through. We can all brainstorm together. Okay, so if I put a little piece of washi, I feel like that's a lot better. And then if I want to move it, I can just peel it up. I don't think they'll stick very well, like they might come off, but then I can always just put another piece of washi and it's not going to ruin the paper. Whoever suggested that, good idea. Still like a little bit bulky, but it's way less bulky than the Velcro. How's everyone doing on their fully booked reading challenge? I think I'm doing all right. Like I have a decent number. There's gonna be some that, like the book with 25 letters in the title, I feel like that one's gonna be difficult. Every time I make the challenge, I try and do some that are like a little more difficult to do. I used to do ones that were like how you would feel about a book, like a book that like made you cry or a book that made you laugh, but I had a bunch of people tell me they didn't like those ones because they like to like pre-plan their reading challenge, and you can't really predict if a book will make you cry or laugh. Which is true. I don't know how many I have. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's more than I thought I did. Lots of people seem to have 9. Is there a prompt that you guys think is like more challenging than other ones, or ones that you think maybe you'll have some difficulty with? Like I said, I think the book with 25 letters in the title will be difficult. Maybe a book with a season in the title. I know, I'm like, should I just erase some of these so I can fit in the 9s club? Oh yeah, the one that was a book released 25 years ago, that one will also be difficult. If anyone has suggestions. I did for a gemstone, I did Onyx Storm. I don't know if that's a bit of a stretch, but I think Onyx is it a stone or is it a gem? Either way, I think it is. I feel like the book that was released 25 years ago is going to be like so nostalgic. So it's going to be from when I was like 14, 15. Depending on what genre you read for set in Canada, Elsie Silver's books are set in Canada, if you like romance. You could do Enemies to Lovers if you read like fantasy. I missed what someone recommended as Remarkably Bright Creatures. What prompt was that for? Also, I highly recommend that book on audio. So good. "25 letters. Oh. it's just me, but sometimes for the fully booked reading challenge, if I didn't like a book, I don't want to use it as a prompt. I don't know why. I just feel like if I don't like it, it doesn't deserve a spot on my reading challenge, which maybe isn't fair, but I do have a couple on here that I like that, which is why I wanted to have a method where I could switch it out if I have a better book. Okay, there we go. I feel like I like this method. Good work. I'm the same, like if for my A to Z, there's a couple of books that I could fill in, but I like didn't enjoy the book as much, so I'm like, maybe I'll wait and see if I read another one, and if I have to use it, then I will. But it is a good mindset to be like, at least it's good for something. It's probably better than... I said I wasn't going to do it for on the cover, but I think I'm going to. Just in case a better one comes along. I haven't done anything on my Reading Rainbow yet. I haven't even like looked or attempted. Yeah, exactly. I'd rather look at the ones that I enjoyed. I'm using Onyx Storm for the sun because there's like a very teeny tiny sun on it, but I feel like I'll be able to find one that's better. I didn't print all the covers that I needed because there was only one leftover cover and I need to put 4 on a sheet, so I didn't want to print them all yet. I'm doing really not great for my on the cover. As you can see, I have 5. I'm really struggling with it this year. And then, like I said, I haven't even thought about my Reading Rainbow. That will be for another day. I'm sure I have some. And then I haven't filled in any of my genre yet, and only one. Because the 2 historical fictions I read this year, both were before 1869, which last year I didn't get that prompt, so. Anyways, and then I have 3 currently for Around the World, but I haven't really looked at it that much. And then for my A to Z, I have 11, but I feel like there's a couple more I could add on here and haven't because I'm waiting to see if I read something else first. Anyways, that's where we're looking for the fully booked. I'm happy with how that turned out. Then from here, I need to do a couple things in March. The March cover just makes me so happy. So cheery. I need to do my new releases page. Does anyone have, I have a couple, but does anyone have any March new releases that I need to be aware of? I think I only have 3. I need to look back at how I did this last time. Okay. First I need to remove that. you've been here before, you know that I always struggle to talk and write at the same time, and there's a high probability that I will spell something wrong. So if I stop talking, that's why. I think I spelled that right. I will say I was pretty against adding the lines to this page for quite a while because I know like some people like to put pictures here, and I was worried that they wouldn't like this, but I really like having the lines, and I like that they're not super, like they're really faint, so like it doesn't take away from the page. Oh, I'm glad to hear that you do the pictures and it still works out. I was a little bit worried how that would be, but glad to know. I have gotten a lot of really good feedback on the lines, so I think that will be something that definitely stays. What am I doing? Oh, good. I'm so glad so many of you like the lines and do the pictures. I never really thought about it like helping like line things up to make sure they're straight, but I guess that makes sense. Very good to know. I feel like I've said it like a bunch of times, like how much I really love doing these little plan with me's, but I'm curious if it has helped you guys stay more consistent in your planner, or if you guys were already pretty consistent in your planner. Like, do you know what I mean? I feel like it's helped me. I mean, I was always pretty consistent, but I feel like it's helped me be like more intentional about interacting and like connecting, and it's nice for me to like have like a set time to disconnect. Like I don't really think of this as work, whereas other times I'm doing things in my planner, sometimes it's work. So I feel like this feels different to me. This is more just like fun, and I like that we can all just like chit chat and talk about what books we're reading or what we're working on. Oh, that makes me so happy that they've been helpful. I did hear that. That's one of the reasons I wanted to do these plan with me videos, is because I like frequently hear that people like start off like really strong in their planner because like they're so excited and it's new and everything, but then like as the year goes on, you kind of like either get busy with life or like it kind of just like gets put to the side and then you don't want to catch up and stuff like that. So I thought like having like a dedicated time where if you like put the initial effort into like showing up and kind of doing this, it's like a little bit more encouraging to know we're all doing it together and we can all just like, I don't know, be accountable to each other to stay on top of it. I was gonna put Sunrise of the Reaping, but I haven't read the other one. I can't remember what it's called. Songbirds and something. I haven't read that one yet either, and I'm not sure if I'm going to, so I have like weird feelings about the continuation. These are the 3 that I have so far. I can't think of any other books that are out. Does anyone have any other books coming out this month? I didn't think there was that many when I looked. Oh, that's good to know, that you don't have to read them. I didn't realize that. I guess that makes sense because they're set at different times, right? Different people. I will admit, I don't know that much about the continuation of the series. As you can see, my weekly spread is looking a little lackluster. So I need to catch up a little bit on this and make it look better than it does. I'm gonna probably spend some time doing that. And on my pen. Last night we went out for sushi and it was so good. I love sushi. Okay, flip this over. Figure out where I put my ruler. I don't know if anyone else is like this. I guess it probably will like depend on where you live and what your season situation is like, but here in the winter I find like I never really like go out and do anything because I don't want to leave my house because it's so cold and miserable and it gets dark so early, and so I never really like do anything. The first 3 months of my planner are always like so empty, and then like summer will hit and it's just like full of activities and like outings. So my February and March have been pretty blank. So now like the only thing I have to put in like the middle is like my workouts for the week, which is nice because it helps me keep track of my workouts and being consistent. But I can't wait for me to have the motivation to like leave my house and do something fun. But I did get a little bit behind on my weekly spread, so we're going to do a little bit of back planning. Usually I'm pretty good about updating my planner like weekly, like every day, or every couple of days at least. But I find sometimes on the weekends I can get a little bit behind if I'm like doing other things like chores and whatnot. What did I do on Friday? I think I had an arm day. I'm the same, Megan, with my reading. I tend to read so much more in like kind of like mid-January once things with work calm down into like probably the end of March, like what you're saying. And then as soon as spring hits, I'm like outside as much as I can possibly be outside. And I don't get as much reading done. always like to add like a little background to the little boxes that I make, just to make them a little bit more fun. Has anybody watched any good movies lately? I have watched one movie in this entire year so far. And Scott and I were talking about having like a movie night. But I don't know what to watch. So, anyone seen any good movies lately? Let me know. I feel like, I don't know, like, if it's just me and like there just haven't been as many movies coming out, or I don't know. I can't even remember what the name of the movie we did watch was. I have been watching some TV, but we're currently doing a rewatch of Schitt's Creek, which I think I talked about last time we were doing live. And yesterday we had the episode, which is my favorite episode, with the open mic night. And Patrick sings Simply the Best. Oh, it hits me in the feels every single time. Like, it's just so good. I could watch that scene over and over again and not get bored of it. It's magical. And then we were watching The Boys on Prime. I don't know if any of you know that show. It's not really my cup of tea. It's a little too violent for my liking. But I do appreciate the social commentary. We just finished season 4 of that. And then now we're watching Reacher season 3, which is one of those shows that's like it's not good, but it's like somewhat entertaining. But that's all we've been watching right now. I was watching White Collar, which I've already seen, but I like needed like a random show to turn on. I forget what I was doing, but I needed like something kind of mindless but also like somewhat engaging. So I was rewatching that, but then I stopped because I didn't really need to watch it anymore. Oh, The White Lotus is on my list. That is something that we want to get to. Yeah, the last season of The Boys was something. It was, yeah. We were originally gonna watch it like when it first came out, which I think was like maybe last year or something. And I just like couldn't do it because it was too heavy. So this is our like second time trying to watch it, and I had to like basically force myself to watch it just to like finish it, because I have this horrible habit of starting shows and never finishing them because I get like bored or lose interest. I have heard, I think we started watching Severance, like this is a prime example. We started watching it and then just never finished it. I can't remember, that's on Apple TV, I think, right? There's another show. What is the show on Apple TV called? And it's like with therapists. It's kind of like a comedy. Harrison Ford's in it. I cannot think of the name. But it's so good. I really liked that one. Shrinking. Thank you. Yes. That was a good one. We just recently went through and like canceled our subscriptions to Netflix and Disney Plus. So we don't have those anymore. I think after we finish watching Reacher, I'll probably get rid of Amazon Prime too. And then I think we're gonna try, if you're American you probably won't know, but in Canada we have something called Crave, which that's where we would have like White Lotus on it. So I think we're gonna maybe give that a try. Maybe we'll do Apple TV. We always like to like alternate. We don't want to like have every subscription ever, because then we don't really use them. It's just the two of us, so sometimes we'll like flip-flop back and forth. Get my sticker pad. What is everyone reading right now? I just started Wildside on Friday, so I'm currently reading that. And then I'm also reading A Fate Inked in Blood for the book club. So those are the two I currently have on. I did start Two Twisted Crowns, but I think I'm not in a good headspace to keep going with it, so that one's gonna take a back seat for a little bit. It's just not working for me at the moment, but I will get back to it. Another person reading A Fate Inked in Blood. That's good. I've seen a lot of people talking about Rebel Witch and what is the one? Is that the one with, I want to say Heartless Hunter? Are those two connected? Or am I mixing them up? I've seen a lot of people talking about those recently. But I haven't given them... I haven't really looked into them that much, to be honest. But people seem to be like really, really into them. Is that like a fantasy? I'm assuming fantasy romance. Or is it YA? Or maybe like a mix. What was yesterday? I need to focus here. It was International Women's Day. Get my pencil. Fantasy, enemies, lovers, fake dating, witch and witch hunter. Ooh, I'm intrigued. I'm gonna have to look into this. So which one is the first one? Heartless Hunter is the first one. Very YA. I'm not sure. I have nothing against YA. I just haven't really been interested in reading it the last, like, 2 years. So we'll have to see. Okay. We can fit it. Sometimes I have to do something in pencil first to make sure that it will fit. That was a very snug fit. Wow. Maybe we can put one of my stickers. I love this sticker pad. Not to be like talking about my own thing, but it makes me so happy to have stickers for all the little holidays. You think that one maybe? I think I want the other one actually. I want this one. Cute. I kind of missed what else other people are reading. Let's Two Twisted Crowns, Fate Inked in Blood. Let's see. Middle of Several Books, When the Moon Hatched. That's another one I've heard a lot of good things about. The Dead Romantics, I loved that one. Onyx Storm, also loved. Hunger Games, classic. 4 Past Midnight, I've never heard of that one. Kingdom of Ruin, Hero of Ages, Mistborn. I read the first Mistborn. I never finished it, and I should go back to it because I enjoyed the first one. Just too many books. I think there's always a struggle between like rereading. Like I have a bunch of books I would really love to reread, but then there's also like so many books I haven't got to yet. It's a struggle being a reader sometimes. Put some little flowers. Yeah, I agree with the reread spread. I feel like, although I did see a couple people like repurpose that page. So if you're not a big rereader, you could always just change the title to something else. A few years ago, like quite a few years ago, I read Rebecca Yarros's I forget what the series is called, but she has like a series of like their military romances, but they're all at like a flight school or something, I think. Anyways, I read them when they first came out, which was like, maybe not when they first came out, but like years ago. And that was before she had like blown up like she currently is. And I'd really like to reread them because it's been like a really long time, and I'm curious to know like how her writing has changed since the first time I was introduced to her, and like how I would feel about them, because I think I remember really liking them, but again, it was a few years ago, so I'd really like to reread those. And then I want to reread The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue because it's like my favorite book, and I haven't read it in a while. So that's another one I'd really like to reread. Yeah, I'm the same way that I think rereads help combat slumps. Like anytime I'm in like a really big slump, I'll do a reread because you just like know you're gonna like it, and it gets you reading, and I do that as well. A friend and I are annotating our favorite books and then shipping them to each other. That's such a cute idea. I would love to do that. I never annotated a book before, but I see it all the time on like TikTok and Instagram, and I think I'd really like it. I think I'd have to get over like marking up a book first, because I think I would like really struggle with like the permanence of that. But having like doing that with like a friend, that's such a special thing to do. I love that idea. That is really sweet. Are any of you like regular annotators in books? If you have any like tips, feel free to share them, because I think I want to try. I'm feeling inspired. Maybe I'll like get a copy of my favorite book and annotate it. I think for our next Plan With Me, we talked about doing the first quarterly check-in. So keep that in mind. I think I'm going to try and do it early April. And then, oh, that was my elbow. I think that'd be a good one to do. So early April, we'll do the first quarterly check-in. I used to tab books a lot. Like, I had no problems tabbing them. But I really like the idea of, like, highlighting and, like, making personal notes. And, yeah, I think that, and, like, little thoughts and stuff, that sounds like fun. I'm gonna do that. Also, how has it already been an hour? I feel like this time is like flying by. I also feel like I've done nothing. Just like chit-chatting. which is fine because I just really love the like community aspect of this. Yeah, I think that's a good way of thinking of it. Like it's journaling, and the more you do it, the more comfortable you become. That is like, that's always my like biggest advice with planners is like you kind of have to make it a habit and like get into like make it a part of your life somehow, like be intentional. And I feel like with annotating it'd be similar. Like you just have to like keep doing it to like build up the habit and get more comfortable with it. Clear post-its is a really good idea too. That is very smart. I think I want to make another little box. I have to white out that mark because I went too far. Oh, that's also a really good tip to test pens and highlighters at the back. I do that like with my planner. I have like a notes page at the very back where I will test new pens and stuff just to make sure I like how they work. Annotating videos. What is your, like, where do you post these? I want to see them. Always a sucker for videos like that. I want to know how I can watch these. Yes, please. Please send them to me. I would love that. I need to do, I've been doing these like, go to a weekly spread. I've been doing these like boxes at the end of every week to like tally my pages read and how many books I finished that week. And I've been really enjoying having those. But I forgot to set them up this time. I never know what to do with like the bottom of the vertical. feel like I don't really need much more information. So usually I do that boxes on this side, and the other side I usually just do like some washi tape or stickers, something like that. Now you guys get like an insight into like how messy my desk actually becomes when I'm planning. I just like leave things everywhere. That's a good idea, putting a quote from a book you finished at that. Yeah, that is smart. I feel like when I used to do vertical spreads a couple of years ago, I was a lot more intentional about like what I would put at the bottom. Like I'd always try and do like different things, but this year I haven't been doing as much. I don't know why. I started out like a little bit stronger, but I think as the year goes on, I like get less and less, like have less and less time to do it. Oh, I know. I can put what we're currently doing in my planner. Does anyone have any plans for the rest of their day? Today I have to do some laundry, which I hate laundry. Laundry is my least favorite of all household things. I think I've said that before, but it is. And then I have some Pilates, and I'm hoping that I can finish Wild Side. I'm at like 75% through the book right now, so hopefully I can finish that. But otherwise, I don't really have much going on today. Maybe do some like meal prepping for the week. I've been making overnight oats every day to have throughout the week for breakfast, because I used to be really bad about breakfast, and it's nice to be able to just like have something prepped. So I have a bunch of that I can do as well. Sometimes when I'm working on like the edge of the paper, I just like use my ruler to rest my hand on, so it's not like constantly falling off the page. It works so much better. Here we go. When I was first setting up my planner at the beginning of the year, I think I've told you guys about them. I got these like new brush pens to try, and so I picked out like one color that I like would represent each month, and I used that like to keep track of all my little like titles and everything throughout the month, so it's like super consistent. That's fun that you can get oats like as a subscription. I do, I like making them because I add extra protein to mine, so it's a good way for me to get extra. And we have like a couple different flavors that we make, and they're super easy. I think I'm gonna use some more of my stickers. There we go. Adds a little something extra. This weekly spread was looking a little boring. Still not the most exciting thing we've ever seen, but it's not horrible. I think I'll leave my weekly spread. Actually, I should do something on these ones. I think I'll just draw a fun little arrow. Okay, leave that, but now I need to fill in all my little trackers. We've got, let's see, the back too. I love that people color coordinate based on like the tabs or like whatever. I think that is so fun. Why can I not find the marker that I'm looking for? Oh, there it is. It was hidden. These little like daily trackers that I do for a bunch of different things have really helped me like be more intentional every day. Or like, I don't know, at least encourages me to like open my planner and do things. Even if it's just like really quick. What was the temperature yesterday? I think it was cold. And we can do, today is also cold. Honestly, these little trackers just make me so happy. I think they're just like so fun to fill out. And I think there's so many different things you could do with them. How do you know exactly what colors are which? Like, I have it written down at the back of my planner. I made myself a little reference. So like I have like my weather tracker, my page tracker, and then I write down like the code on the pen so I know which one. Now I kind of just know because I've done it so much, but in the beginning when it was like still new pens to me, then I would do it and it like works out pretty well. One day I need to set this up. I think I talked about this in my very first plan with me. I want to do like a remember this moment with some like key pictures from throughout the year, like really special events. I thought about doing one per month, but like I was talking about earlier, like the first couple of months of the year I don't really do that much, so I'm not going to do it per month. I think I'm just going to do like standout moments. And I left myself room that I can do 2 spreads of it if I want to. And then I also penciled this in the other day. I want to do a best books of 2025. I'm going to do like the top 12. This is where I'm going to use the Velcro for real, because then I can like reorganize them. If I have like a new favorite that's like number 1 or like one moves down, then I can like rearrange them. So I'm going to set this up at some point as well. I was just kind of like fleshing out the idea initially, but I think that one will be really fun. And I think I can use the Velcro because it'll be at the back, so it won't really impact anything. Like I don't have anything back here that I really do. Like the notes pages is just like pen test page, so I don't think it will be inconvenient. Ooh, book awards. That sounds fun too. That's such a good idea. Anyways, I think that's all I'm gonna do for today. Since we are already we're pushing, it's been like an hour and 20 minutes-ish now, so I think that's like a pretty decent time. And I didn't get that much done in my planner, but it was all things I needed to get done, so I really like that we got to sit down and have this time together. But yeah, thank you for hanging out with me and helping me figure out this page. It was really nice to talk through it and figure out what would work and what didn't work. So thank you for that. And yeah, thank you for being here and for just hanging out with me I say this every time, but I really love doing these plan with me videos, and I really like getting to like chat with you guys and everything. So we're gonna do this again next month. Like I mentioned, I'm gonna try and do it early April so that we can do the quarterly check-in together, and I think that'll be really fun. So yeah, thank you for being here and spending your time with me on this Sunday afternoon. I really appreciate it. And I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.